When a company considers a purchase, they're looking for their return on investment, or their ROI. How will spending this money today help me to make more money tomorrow? How will spending this money today solve my problem or solve my need within my company? And it's not just purchases that boil down to ROI. Sometimes it's time. They may ask the question, does having an annual Christmas party during office hours give us any kind of return on investment? Well, sure it can. It can help build synergy within a team. It can boost company morale. There can be return on investment in a lot of different activities, but they have to be considered. What about in our life? Do we consider a return on the things we invest in? Most people do. When you remodel your home, you think, how will this affect my resale value? When you remodel your home and you spend a lot of money, you think, how is this going to solve the problem that I'm currently having with my house? How is this spend of money going to serve my needs in my home? What about the return of investment when you're purchasing a car? A lot of people consider that. I'm investing a lot of money, and in return, I expect this vehicle to take me safely and comfortably from point A to point B. That's the expected return on investment, the expected ROI. And this is a biblical principle too. In Luke chapter 14, verse 28, Jesus says, "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it?" What is my return on investment when I'm building a tower? Jesus is saying, before you make a big investment on anything in life, including being his disciple, calculate the cost, consider the investment, and think about the return. Because we don't consider the cost, we can get ourselves in a lot of trouble sometimes, can't we? We like to watch a lot of the house flipping shows on TV, and if you've seen them, you know that in almost every episode, there's a situation that comes up that the people didn't consider, and they end up blowing their budget on the remodel. You can get underwater very quickly in a home renovation if you don't consider the cost and you don't consider the return on the things that you're doing. It's almost time for me to be looking for another car, and man, I would really like to drive a Corvette. But the return on the investment is not very practical for me. In return for the money I would be spending, I would only get 2 seats. And that doesn't make a lot of sense because I have 3 kids. But sometimes we make impractical, impulsive decisions when we don't consider the return on investment. So what about other things in our life? You know, I'm really bad at considering the ROI on the things I put in my body. You know, I may look at something and it looks so good, but I don't consider in that moment the long-term effects. And a lot of times I make a poor, impractical, impulsive decision without considering the ROI for what I'm doing. Time is an investment that everyone looks back on and wishes they had invested better. You don't hear a lot of people say as they near the end of their life, you know, I sure wish I could have watched more TV during my life. I wish I would have invested more time in my job instead of spending so much time with my family. It's usually the opposite, isn't it? I wish I would have spent more time with the people I love. I wish I wouldn't have wasted so much time doing meaningless things. Bad investments are a bummer. A friend of mine was telling me today about a stock he bought just before it crashed. That's no fun. What if I told you about an investment with a guaranteed return, a guaranteed ROI, an investment guaranteed to turn a profit? 2 Timothy 3:16 says, "All Scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, equipped for every good work." Scripture is profitable. It's profitable every single time, and the return on investment can be found in teaching and reproof and correction and training in righteousness. And you will be a complete and equipped person. Do you want to be a righteous person? Well, I hope you do. You need to invest in Scripture. Righteousness is the return on investment for Scripture. Do you want to be complete and equipped for every good work? I hope you do. Invest in Scripture. What a wonderful investment tool God has blessed us with, a guaranteed winner that allows us to lay up treasure in heaven. Start investing in Scripture this week. The only kind of investment tip you'll ever get from me. I love you all. Have a great week.